Okay guys, so today I wanted to talk to you about this stuff here. Okay, love this stuff. Okay, um it's not often you'll find something that is known by so many names. Okay, so I want to say some names that this stuff is called. Okay, one of them is mule tape. Okay, another one is flat tape. It's also called flat rope by some people. Some people call it pool tape. Some people call it pool rope. But when I went to Home Depot to try to find it, I couldn't find it by any one of these names. Okay, and eventually I found it under the name electrical conduit. Um, I don't know what was after that. I don't know if it was cord or rope or tape or something. Dot dot dot. Okay. And for all we know, guys, there might be like another name and another name and another name and another name for this thing. Okay. But whatever the case, we love this, and I would like to tell you why. Okay. I'll probably leave this out. Probably can write more. Okay. So this stuff is extremely lightweight. Okay. It's very light. That's good. It is also extremely strong, and it comes in different strengths. Okay, and you don't even have to guess how strong it is, because it literally says on the thing how much strain it can take. Okay, in this case it says 1,280 pounds. Okay, that's what it says. 1,250. Okay, so in this case 1,250 pounds. And there's ones that are thicker and stronger too. Okay. What else? Okay. It dries well. Okay. So when it gets wet, it dries. How about we do that with IE? It dries fast, guys, which is good if you're trying to keep things light. Okay. Light, strong, dries fast. Okay. What else? Reusable. Very, very, very reusable. I have some funny stories that I can tell you guys about this. I will tell you at least one of them. One of the best features by far though, guys, okay, is right here. Okay, the ends, they don't unravel and fray. Okay, they just become a little bit feathery like a paintbrush, and then they stop. Okay, so they don't fray and unravel. Okay, like for example, I used to use paracord, man, and I used to think paracord was great, and now, oh man, this is just me, guys. I cannot use paracord. It is so inferior for my purposes to this stuff. Okay, because paracord, like, if you don't, like, if you tie a knot, it's junk. Okay, the knot is like bulky, it's way thicker than the rest of it, and it doesn't hold well. Okay, and then you might be thinking, oh yeah, but you can just burn it. Well, even if you burn it, a lot of times the inner rope and the outer sleeve like separate from each other. Yeah, and it comes terrible. Okay, this thing, no sir, it doesn't continue forever and ever like paracord. Okay, and then also, man, people are also like, oh, paracord is so strong, paracord is so strong. Paracord is not so strong, guys. Okay, for example, we go fishing on lava rocks, and we used to set up our shade with the paracord. So we would tie a rope to one piece of lava rock, we would tie the other end to the other piece of lava rock, and then we would create our lean-to or our A-frame or our high center or whatever. Okay, our teepee. And when the wind is whipping, yeah, and our shelter is moving and the rope is moving, so many times the lava rock eventually would poof, would pop the paracord, and then all of a sudden everything falls down. Okay, so paracord is decently strong. Okay, but there are so many downsides to it. Okay, this stuff is the bomb. But anyway, so maybe I'll have more things to say. What do we use this for? Yeah, well, we use it for camping. We use it for survival. We use it for fishing. We use it for hunting. Okay, it's just in a pinch. Yeah, I actually have 3 sets of these guys. Okay, so I have this set that I keep in my bucket. Okay, I have 4 20-footers, 4 10-footers, and some random stragglers. Okay, but my other 2 sets, guys, one of them is my camping set and one is my fishing set. I just throw them all in a gallon freezer Ziploc bag. And my other set, I actually do the same thing. I have 4 20s, 4 10s, but I actually have 4 or 5 footers. Yeah, because sometimes you want a shorter rope and you don't want to have to like sacrifice and cut one of your longer ropes up. Yeah, so the way I like to do it, yeah, when I'm not dealing with my bucket in my truck, I like to have 20 feet times 4, 10 feet times 4, and 5 feet times 4. Okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you a funny story about this that might convince some of you guys of the awesomeness of this. Okay, and some of you guys already know the awesomeness of this. Oh, what else? This thing has good grip, guys. It's grippy. Okay, it also has low friction. How can something be low friction and grippy? But what I mean, guys, like, is if you tied this to, like, let's say you gotta go up and down something, and you just want something to assist you, okay, and you don't want to bring a rope, okay, I would never trust paracord for that job. Plus, it would kind of like be hard to grab, and there would be a decent chance it would break, or that it would kind of like maybe burn your hand or slice your hand. Okay, so like let's say there's like kind of a staircase lava rock that you're going up and down. Okay, if you tied this at the top end, especially if you got one that was thicker than this one, okay, it would be a great aid for walking up and down. Okay, it really would. If you did that with paracord, it would not be good. Okay, thing would probably break. You will fall on your back. Okay, but so the funny story, guys, is I have some friends. Okay, one friend in particular. They are pig killers, guys. They go hunting for boar. Okay, for wild pigs with their dogs and with their knives. Yeah, and they love this stuff. Okay, because this is what they use to tie the pig. Okay, and and to carry the pig, and so they use it one trip after other. Things get all bloody. Yeah, and the funniest thing in the world is how protective they are, and how they don't want their friend to take their bloody piece of flat tape that has been used like 16 times. Okay, so for example, okay, so my friend, he went pig hunting with his other friend. Okay, and his friend needed some rope, so the friend borrowed the rope. Okay, and he said, "Hey, make sure you give me that back when you pow." Okay, when you pow. Pow means done, guys. Make sure you give me that back when you're done. Okay, and the friend's like, "Oh yeah, no worry, I won't give them back to you." Okay, and then later on, the friend took the rope, and so the next time, the other guy, he didn't have as much of this rope in the back of his backpack as he usually had. Oh, and he was so salty. He was so mad. And he's like, "Brah, you never give me my stuff back." Okay. Oh, and I just thought that was so funny, because this thing is sold by the thousands of feet. Yeah, like those of you who know, it is sold on spools that are humongous and that have thousands and thousands of feet on it. And I think it's so funny that you have these guys fighting over like one of these things that he lent to the friend, and the friend didn't give it back. That's just hilarious. Yeah, but that also is a sign of how much some people like this. Okay, some people really like this, including me. Okay, but yeah, like if you don't know where to find it, I guess it could be hard to come by, and it would be difficult to replace. But if you know where to find it, and somebody invests in a $350 spool wow, you will have this stuff coming out of your ears for days. Yeah, like it'll last forever. Okay. Um, let's see. Almost done, guys. Okay. Um, Now, what am I rushing for? Yeah, if you want to watch, watch. Okay, so I do not like it. Okay, I show you guys something. This is with the 20 footer. I really like to bundle it the way you see it bundled. Okay, when all is said and done, I can actually really easily, even though this is 20 feet, have it come out with no knots in it. Okay. Oh man, I really don't like when people do this, guys. Okay. I really don't. Okay, it doesn't come out good. Okay, and I see other people, they get their fancy like their shaka with this kind. Holy moly, don't do that, guys, either. Okay, the way I like to do this, okay, is I just fold it in half. I grab the two ends, and then I go to the loop end, boom, and then I put these together, and I go again, and then I put these together, I go again, and I go one more time, okay, and I tie a knot. Okay, to me this way it stores so much better. Okay, and I can untie it so much better too, and I can always tell the section of rope I have, okay, because my 20 footers always have 8. So if these loops 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, yeah, like as you can see, my 20 footers have 8 loops. Okay, my 10 footers, you guessed it, they have 4. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 loops. Okay, so that's the way I like to wrap it up and store it. And when I go fishing, when we break down the camp at the end, and if I take like youth with me, teach them the ropes or show them the ropes and stuff like that, in the end, if they're helping me clean up, and they do this wrong, I tell them like, hey, no, I'd rather you don't even do it if you ain't doing wrong, because I'm pretty particular about this being done the way it is here. Okay, but there are so many good things about this. Okay, I don't think I did a adequate job of explaining the positive attributes. Okay, I know for sure there's more than this. Let me go look through them real quick, guys. Okay, light, check. Strong, check. Dries fast, good. Reusable, doesn't fray and unravel. Grippy, okay. I'll go add abrasion resistant. Okay, that's kind of like strong, but it's a little bit different. Abrasion resistant, yeah. Okay, and I probably don't need to say this, but I don't care. Yeah, I'll say it anyway. So there's actually a really good purpose for this. There's a reason that it's flat, yeah, and that it's very, very strong, yeah. So what happens is when people want to pull a whole bunch of cables, like a long length of cables through a pipe underground, yeah, how are they going to do that? How are they going to feed it, right? So what they do is they need something that is very flat, very low friction, very strong, and very, very, very long, yeah, to be able to get those cables from point A to point B. So what they do is they take one end of like thousands of feet of this stuff, okay, and it's actually got like lengths, on it, like actual measures, like a ruler. It's really cool. Okay, of course in this case I kind of ruined the ruler by chopping it into pieces. Okay, but right here you can see it says 129 feet, yeah, and over here it says 128 feet, and over here it says 127 feet. Okay, so this thing's so cool in so many ways. It's even a ruler, guys. Okay, but what I was saying is, how do they get the rope from point B to point A in the first place so that they can pull the cable from point A to point B? Okay, it's really cool. It's really, really cool, guys. What they do is they take the rope on one end and they basically attach something that can fill up the tube and that's very light. For example, a trash bag, yeah? So you attach a trash bag or a plastic bag to one end, okay? And on the other end, you basically suck that thing, right? So you get like a vacuum cleaner, some kind of strong suction, okay? And that suction, yeah, with the trash bag on this end, pulls the trash bag and the rope, and that's why the rope needs to be flat, and that's why the rope needs to be very light. Okay, so it gets pulled all the way, sometimes thousands of feet from point B to point A. Okay, so imagine vacuum cleaner on this side, sucking a bag all the way. And so that way you're able to thread the rope all the way from one side to the other. Okay, and then on the other end, you take that huge bundle of all those wires and cables, okay, and you take this guy and you wrap it. You just wrap it and wrap it and wrap it and wrap it and wrap it. And then you tape it. You just tape it and tape it and tape it and tape it and tape it. Because the last thing in the world that you want is for the rope and the cables to detach, yeah, halfway through the pipe. So you just, no scare no shame, just put tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of wraps and tape. Okay, and so now you have the cable attached to the rope, you have the rope running through the pipe underground, yeah, and then you have the remainder of the spool on this side, yeah, and then at that point you use some kind of winch or some kind of machine, yeah, to drag all of that cable through the pipe, with this thing being the thing that's pulling it, yeah. But what's really cool is as it's coming through the pipe, you can literally look at the foot measurements to know like how much rope you've pulled, how much rope is left to pull, yeah. And so that's why this thing is called electrical conduit, I guess, pull rope, something like that, yeah. Because that's really like the purpose for which this was created, okay. But the convenient thing for people like us is you can buy that gigantic spool. It's not cheap, but it's not that expensive either. And you will have this stuff for life. Yeah. And if one of your friends is crying because someone took theirs, then you can be like, here, have 1,000 feet. Yeah. Because it's pretty abundant once you have it. Okay. But yeah, so this is something that is my rope of choice when it comes to what I would consider my own survival situations. Okay, I love this stuff.